Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'd like to talk to you today about a new knife that I've got. It's a budget folder, but it's a little bit unique. We're going to take a look at it at the table in a minute. This is the new Ganzo pocket cleaver with the carbon fiber handles. I got this and then I modified it. I'll tell you about those modifications. I'll tell you about what I think of it, and we'll do that right now. Hey guys, welcome to another tabletop section F755 Ganzo Firebird. I guess they're deciding they're going to change their name to Firebird for some unknown reason. Does anybody know why Ganzo is changing their name to Firebird, or trying to change their name to Firebird, or trying to use two different names? This is their pocket cleaver. Their pocket cleaver, and this particular version has the carbon fiber scales. It's got 440C for the blade, steel, you know, good and bad. This is a budget folder right around the $25-ish range. I will post a link in the description. Of course, the G10 model is a little cheaper. I'll make a recommendation on that coming up. But it's black, it's accented with the blue screws. It's kind of nice. It's kind of a nice looking knife. The blade is actually a very useful shape if you're into these types of blades. This is a good example of that design. The ergonomics are really good. I would say that I have a large hand. I would say that my hands are large. They fit on here comfortably. If you had a little bit bigger hand, they would also fit on here, but maybe you would not be able to use the finger choil. Maybe you wouldn't be able to choke up on this if you have big fat sausage phalanges. When I got this knife, the action was abysmal in my personal opinion. Pivot came super tight. It didn't flip open worth a crap. You know, from previous experience, I know that Ganzo, what they like to do is they like to use a Teflon or plastic washer on one side of the knife, and then they like to use a brass washer on the other side of the knife. Don't understand that. Don't know why they do that. What are they saving? 20 cents? You know, 50, I don't even know. It's like 50 cents, less than 50 cents they're saving to do that. Charge me 50 more cents. I don't know why you're doing that. That's kind of irritating. So what I did is I got online and I found the correct phosphor bronze washers. I took this knife all apart and I replaced their junk with some high quality phosphor bronze washers, and it, you know, made, you know, night and day difference on this action. And I want to talk about a little bit, even with me upgrading the action, you know, it's kind of hard to do at an angle like this, but so that's, you know, the detent is super strong. You can come at it like and really, you know, fling it open, but generally speaking, you know, the detent is solid. It's not going to come open in your pocket. Even after modifying the action on this knife, let's see, where is it? This is a knife that I've had for years now. This is a Ganzo, what is this? 729. And this is the worst action knife I have ever owned. As far as out of the box, this was the worst thing I've ever had. This is even bad for a Ganzo. So this one was particularly bad because I had nothing to do one day. I took this knife all apart, polished up everything, put phosphor bronze washers in it. I modified the lock. I did all kinds of custom stuff to this for no reason other than I was bored. And this is probably one of my smoothest knives that I own now. I mean, it's you know, it's pretty awesome. It's hard to do this from this angle, but anyway, this is an awesome knife now. So I was kind of expecting this to be similar after I modified it and did everything to it, but it didn't, because what they've done to this knife, part of the action of a knife is also based on how they design the tang, the rear tang of the knife. And you'll notice right here, let me see if I can get this in the camera, as this blade closes, watch the lock. The lock moves all the way to the rear, right? I mean, there's a lot of force right here. It's an apex, and then that sucks the blade in. And the reason they did that is because this blade is heavy, so they gave it an extra oomph to keep the blade from coming open, or, you know, this blade would just kind of fly open easier. And that's what they did. So they gave this thing a really, see, as I open it, that just all the way to the rear, and then boom, it lets go, you know, and then it works like normal. I don't like that. Is it something you can overcome? Sure. You know, you can if you give it a good flick, you know. I mean, this knife works awesome, you know, once you get used to it. But, I mean, that's a little heavy duty. You know, that hump on the rear of the tang is just too much. It's noticeable. It noticeably jacks up the action of this knife. And now I understand why they did it, but I don't like it. I guess I can say I don't like it. And I think if you made this exact knife without this lock, I mean, it would just be a better knife. It would be a much better knife if you didn't use the, you know, the Benchmade access lock copy. This would have been a much better action. You know, because this is worse than a normal Ganzo access lock. It's worse than this. The only good thing about it is that it really comes up over the back of the tang much farther than they used to. They fixed, because they were known for their locks failing, so they've moved the lock to where it goes over more of the rear of the tang to give it a more secure lockup. But it still will fail if you tap this. You know, it will probably still fail. I'm not going to do it because it's loud and obnoxious, and I hate when people do that when I'm watching videos, so I'm not going to do it. That's kind of that. As far as the design of the knife, I love it. I absolutely love the design of this knife. And I love the ergonomics of it. I love how you can bear down on chopping. You know, I've used this in my kitchen, and I really like it. I was searching for another camp food prep knife. This is what I came up with. It's going to serve the purpose really well for me. And I'm going to use it for that. But I carry this. Sometimes just for fun, and it works really well. It'll make short work of a box. I mean, it'll completely murder a box. It's pretty decent. And another thing I've noticed that this blade, this 440C, seems to be more durable than my older Ganzo. You know, something about the heat treating or the steel itself, I'm not sure. This seems to be a little bit more durable, a little bit harder. So that's something. It holds an edge longer. But, I mean, we're a little longer, right? I mean, it's still 440C. The things I don't like about this knife, besides that action, besides the tang, I mean, it's smooth. The action is smooth now. Come out of the box, it sucks. Really good now with the modifications. Another thing I don't like is Ganzo's version of carbon fiber. As you can see, if you look at the scales, it's some sort of carbon fiber. I don't know. They say it's real, but I don't know. It doesn't look real. Just doesn't look real. Doesn't feel real. And it's a thin overlay over the top of what looks like G10 or something. So it's not, the whole scale is not carbon fiber for sure, right? So I don't like that. And plus, there is no texture to this at all. It might as well be a sheet of glass. This knife is really hard to get a grip on. I mean, it's, you know, It's real slippery. So I would strongly suggest not getting the carbon fiber unless you just like the look of it and that's your jam. You know, when you consider what this knife costs, I think it's an exceptional value. Another thing is it's not copying anything. This is an original design, which is really, really awesome to finally see from them. It's a standalone design. It's a really good design. If let's say Spyderco made this exact knife with their quality, this exact design, it'd be badass with a liner lock instead of this axis lock. It would be awesome. Or the compression lock, or a compression lock. Oh yeah, you know, now you'd be talking. All the edges are kind of sharp. They're not rounded, you know, so that's kind of where they're saving some of the money. It's a full flat grind. Really good slicer. I mean, this thing slices really well. Pocket clip is good. Yep, that's about all I got to say about it. I'd buy it again for the price. All things considered, I like it a lot. Thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you on the next one. On at in.